up on the roof, but the moonlight threw stretched-out shadows down on the alley. Judging from those shadows, the hosts had thinned out. There were only a few dark silhouettes now, the last stragglers spilling from the woods onto the tar and gravel roof above. We wouldn't have time to wait for them to clear out. We took off down the alley toward the general store just as the explosions started. At first, there were a few bangs, followed by moist smacks. They intensified, popcorn getting up ahead of steam on the stove. Popcorn. Popcorn getting up ahead of steam on the stovetop. Patrick and Alex followed me through the rear exit of the general store. As we hurdled the back counter and barreled up the aisles, the explosions quickened. A few rounds penetrated the wall, zinging overhead. We careened outside as the detonations reached a drum roll pitch, the ammo snowballing until it sounded like one continuous roar. Most of the hosts had followed our trail into the bob and bit, but those that remained outside lunged for us. We didn't slow down. We couldn't. My bailing hooks were a blur before my face. Alex's hockey stick whirred by. We cleared a path to the ramp of squirming bodies. Then we waded up it. Our legs sank in to the ankles. We had to fight our way through the last of the hosts, even as we bullied our way up the putrefying flesh, ladies and gentlemen, putrefying flesh coming at you, 86 degrees outside. Even as we bullied our way up the putrefying flesh, flies typhooned around us. Patrick's shotgun choke was set wide, so we let him lead. He cleared 2 hosts with a spray of pellets. I felt a cheek cave beneath my boot, a guppying mouth locking around my heel. As we charged up the last hard-fought yards of squirming ramp, fireworks erupted behind us, sending shrapnel flying. At last, we pulled free of the wriggling slope onto the solid roof. There were only a few hosts left when the explosions behind us surged into a massive kaboom that knocked us off our feet. I flew sprawling over one shoulder, my cheek scraping gravel. As I fell, I caught a crazy sideways glimpse of the general store's walls and roof flying apart. A wave of heat ripped across us, the flies drooping dead, hammering the roof all around us like hail. My ears rang. Flies dropping dead. F me. A wave of heat ripped across us, the flies dropping dead, hammering the roof all around us like hail. My ears rang. I rolled over to face the threat. Only 380 pages to go, Seth. We got this. I rolled over to face the threat, but the hosts who'd stood between us and the woods had collapsed into heaps. The explosion had disintegrated their failing bodies. Patrick stood over me, his black cowboy hat blotting out the moon. He offered me a hand. We grasped around the wrists, and he yanked me to my feet. I staggered a little, and Alex caught me. "Nice shortcut, boys," she said. Together we limped off the roof and up the slope, at last, losing ourselves among the trees. All right, I'm going to take a little sip of my water. That was very intense. That was like a Jerry Sandusky after-game meeting. At least it was probably the same amount of limbs floating around and nude. So I broadcast a little bit of this to fans out in the wild, and one of them guessed what book this was, simply by, I didn't say what book it was. I didn't even say what we were doing, and then they go, "This is that book by blah blah blah." Nothing. We literally, I just was reading it, just while we were reading something, and they tweeted me and they go, "That was this book, wasn't it?" And that was pretty impressive. So, yes, and I was sending a little bit right now to the fans, and this is an audiobook that is about... I mean, I guess there's alien zombies. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could call them that. It's a sequel. The first book... Where is she? Is she in here? I don't know if she's in here. I don't know. But the first book is out. This book, it's by Greg Hurwitz. It's Greg with 2 G's. This is the second book. The first book is out there ready for you guys if you want. I'm not talking about Natsu. I wish he wrote books. That would be cool. Yes.